What is up, everybody? I hope you guys are all doing well. My name is Tank. This is the IBC Gang channel. Here we talk about everything that's happening in the traditional markets as well as the crypto markets with a specific interest on what's happening within the Cosmos ecosystem. Guys, today I'm checking my audio. I am making sure that it is correct. We are ready to roll. Guys, you guys just got look at that. Is the background not working? Look, you guys got look at my vacuum. I was vacuuming right behind me, and I thought I could be safe with this background. Apparently not. Apparently not. Technology, right? Anyway, guys, audio is working. We're back in it to win it. It is Wednesday. It is now the 13th, and we got some stuff to talk about, man. We got some stuff to talk about in the charts and a little bit of ecosystem news, but more so in the charts than anything else. And so for today's stream, let's go ahead and jump on into it. But before I do, I have to give you a heads up to our channel sponsor. You guys know who that is. Kujira.network. Shout outs to the fam, right? Kujira.network, the blockchain for real yield, a decentralized ecosystem for protocols, builders, and Web3 users seeking sustainable fintech. If y'all don't know about our friends over there at Kujira.network, you must be sleeping under a rock, especially if you're in the Cosmos ecosystem. Guys, you can do so many things over here. Like I like to bid on liquidations on Orca. Finn is also there. Bow Ghost. You can check everything that you're doing within Blue. So many arms to their platform for you to hang off of, or since I'm a jiu-jitsu guy, for you to grab hold of and have fun with. Uh, you guys have no excuse not to be checking out Kajiro.network. Definitely check them out. Give them a follow as well on social media, guys. Give them a follow on social media. It really would be nice of you to be supportive. It costs you. And here's my thing. Here's my gripe about people being supportive. It costs you nothing. Like for unless you're like on some weird platform watching this in a weird way, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Twitter, if you're on Twitch, if you're on any of these platforms, it costs you nothing to be supportive, like regardless if you like the individual or not, or the pro. Like if you like the Cosmos ecosystem in general, hit a subscribe. Don't watch the channel, whatever it is, but like subscribe, like, help out, right? It costs you nothing. And so like you really don't have any excuse to be a productive, positive, good person and being supportive. So that's my little like I implore you guys, not just for me. Think about like your friends that are out there, or people that are out there trying to do things within the Cosmos ecosystem, or maybe even beyond. Maybe you're not a Cosmo person, you just like listening to me rant and come back for some abuse in that kind of way, I guess. Consider being a supportive person, like, right? It's the bear market, it's hard enough. Consider supporting those people that are out there making an effort to bring you guys content or opinions or whatever they're doing. Anyway, guys, you guys know about Kujira.network. Definitely check them out. Love them to death. Thank you, fam, for supporting the IBC gang, helping us do what we do here and making this worthwhile and for us to do so. Really do appreciate it. But yeah, so there we go. You guys got the shout out, Kujira.network. You know what the deal is. If you guys don't see this beautiful background that I got going on as well, subliminally trying to put in NFT Nashville into your heads. We got that closing in on us as well, November 4th. You guys know the deal. Obviously, we're hosting an event that is going to be focusing on NFTs specifically for this one within the Cosmos ecosystem and what they've done thus far for our space, what we're doing when it comes to NFTs. We're talking about ICS 721, interchain NFTs, and everything in between within the Cosmos ecosystem. We're going to be talking about what projects have done with it, platforms have done with it, developers, launchers, community members. I think they've done a fascinating, fabulous, I was going to say two things at one time, job within our space. And I honestly do believe that NFTs are going to help usher in a new wave when it comes to crypto adoption, crypto liquidity, and much, much more. We've already seen it happen once before, but once we start getting back into the essence of what NFTs were meant to be, instead of just profile pictures, not shaming profile picture NFTs, but you know what I mean? Like once we start tapping into that, man, it's going to be mind blowing. So we're trying to be the first ones within the Cosmos ecosystem to facilitate an event like that here in the United States. Consider coming, consider supporting. I really would appreciate it. I know a lot of other people who are sponsors would appreciate it, and or who have launched in the ecosystem as well would really appreciate it. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump on in to the charts because we got some interesting things happening in the charts. We're going to start off with the Muggle markets. We're going to start off with the Dow Jones on the daily time frame. We're using market cipher B down here to look at the charts. We are down right now on the daily time frame for the traditional Dow Jones Muggle Market Index. We're down 0.20%, which all in all is not all that bad. Again, if you see here on the daily time frame, we have this trend line of support that we are still above right now. We're still above it just barely, but we are nonetheless still above it at the moment. So we're still in structure, right? We still have higher lows being made when it comes to the Dow Jones. It doesn't look all too bad. If I'm being very honest with you guys, my humble opinion, I've said this so many times, like it really doesn't look all too bad. Structure still intact, even though it's hanging on by a thread. It's still there, like right, stair stepping movements happening on the charts. And so long as this is still intact, like act like you've been there. When it and if it does break down, though, you got to be prepared for it. You got to have a plan. I think Mayor and a couple other people from our friends over in Polygon or in the other side of the NFT pod. But I can't really say that because Space Skellies was here in the Cosmos as well, and so we're talking about Space Skellies. Love the team, love the fam over there. But we were on a space with them yesterday, and he said something that really resonates, and it's nothing that I haven't heard before in the past, but I do want to reiterate it and give credit where credit's due for reminding me. Saberstein and Mayor, I can't remember exactly who said it, but like said it best, right? Having no plan is planning to fail. Like, and so you have to have a plan just in case things go awry for you, just in case things go not the way that you're hoping for. Hoping and planning is two different things. So, like, be prepared for that, right? Using my 200 SMA strategy, you guys know I have an SMA strategy. Oh, excuse me, we're not on the daily. We were on the hourly. Excuse me. Now on the daily, using my 200 SMA strategy on the daily time frame, along with my 4x4 DCA strategy, you can see that 20 years of price data tells us to look for, if things go to hell in a handbasket, a flooring position to happen somewhere around 25,496 for the Dow Jones Index. Like, I'm not saying necessarily that happens, but I'm prepared for it. And I'm also prepared for it before that happens, right? Previous support on average, I'm going to look for entering in there maybe on my 4x4 DCA strategy. I'm going to look for previous points of interest here, which was our previous 200 SMA strategy point of interest, which is right about 27,638. And then again, I'm looking for that flooring position. That's 20 years of price data, right? And again, the way that I get this, just so you guys know, if you guys are new here and you guys haven't heard this a million times, I promise for everybody that has, I'll try to keep it short. The 200 SMA strategy is basically a measured move underneath the 200 SMA on the daily time frame of price action when it stays below the 200 SMA for more than 15 to 20 days. When that happens, that's kind of like really reflective of true price movement below, and could that really I don't want to say manipulates, affects the markets in such a way to where I think it's valid to count long term. And so what I did is I went back 20 years and I looked for the average on what that actually looks like before we start seeing flooring positions happen, like we've seen here, and many more times before that. And that's telling me over 20 years of price data, every narrative, every bias, every whatever that you want to experience, market crashes, wars, health scares, whatever it is, right? Taking all of that into account and just going by averages, just going by math. That's telling us that we should be seeing a flooring position happen right around 25,496. Maybe that doesn't come down to it, but it might come close to it, like we've seen in the past, right? Like we were pointing out here, it might come close to it. So again, prepare accordingly, have a proper DCA strategy, maybe consider going a little bit before that zone, a little bit right before that, underneath it, and then before. Again, I can't tell you guys what to do. You do you. But that's what we got for the Dow Jones. Dow Jones is basically falling a little bit flat right now. NASDAQ is up, though. The NASDAQ is up 0.38%. And really, like, I know this looks like a chaotic mess here, but again, things just really holding up, right? Trend line that we had going on here. That's a horrible diagonal line. But trend line that we had going on here, still in play, still intact. The stair-stepping movements that we've had since the low, still in play, still intact. Granted, it looks like a Dr. Seuss stair-stepping movement, but it's still in play, still intact. And right now, we're still above our previous level of which was once resistance in the past before for us. So like, just, act like, take profits, act like you've been there. This isn't anything abnormal. And plan accordingly. Have a plan to succeed instead of not having a plan at all, because that is a guaranteed way to fail. If that goes to hell in a handbasket, we're not ready for that. Again, I'm looking for new lows, which 200 SMA strategy tells me it's somewhere around 9,258. The previous one, like we absolutely murdered it here, but you can see, like, made a lot of money here, until things started going off. But yeah, I also want to put out there, like, it's not perfect, but I could really even see this as being a really janky cup and handle pattern happening. The humongous cup. You guys know cup and handle patterns are long-term bullish patterns, right? Like more often than not. So you can kind of see this like happening right here, right? Really weird janky cup pattern happening right here, and maybe we kind of have this weird handle of sorts happen here, and then that's bullish. We get through the recession, we get through the last of the year, we get to the halving, for crypto at least, which is kind of, I don't know if you want to keep with that narrative that's correlated with the Nasdaq and whatnot, because tech heavy stocks and Bitcoin's tech and all this other stuff. But I could see that happening. But while this is happening, while this handle is printing, if it does print, I promise you, just like I told you guys before, everybody and their mom is going to say like bearish things. Everybody and their mom is going to tell you that they were a genius, that you didn't know what you're talking about. But if you're a long-term investor, right? Like if you're active, you're dynamic in your participation in the markets and whatnot, you're always taking profits and what, like, you might, if you missed it down here because you just weren't sure and you want to DCA back into, like, this would be the next best possible situation if you're actually printing that cup and handle pattern and you miss this bottom, right? The next bottom that you definitely want to not miss is going to be the handle bottom. So just something to think about, not financial advice. I don't know if it actually prints out, but just something to keep an eye out. It looks like it has the possibility of doing that, but I just want to make you guys aware of it. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing right now for the NASDAQ. It's really interesting. You do show RSIs on the daily time frame pointing downwards, negative money flow, or I should say, negative indication of money flow coming to the downside more often than not because of this red sell dot that we have on Market Cipher. And we are seeing the momentum wave that is positive money flow tapering off. This chartreuse color, as my friend said in the past and reminded me because I'm colorblind, the chartreuse color is kind of tapering off and coming back down, right? So we could create an anchor wave and come back down here, maybe retest this long-term support line that, yes, we did thread through it just recently, but overall, on average, it's still intact. It's still relevant to the long-term scheme or grand scheme of things. And so, like, pay attention to that, right? With that being said, let's move on to the Russell. The Russell is down 0.66%. Excuse me for a second while I take a sip of this. It's 3:30 and I'm still drinking coffee. Does anybody else have problems? I got problems. I love me some coffee. So yeah, let me go to the Russell here. Let's actually take a look at Market Cipher. Well, it's not Market Cipher. It's just, this is where Market Cipher A used to be. I'm so used to saying that. We have a long-term trend line of support here. We're still holding up above previous past resistance. Again, just be patient, right? Like, but have a plan. We're coming back down to retesting the SMAs. You got to be mindful of that. That's critical level. RSI is not looking good. We just dipped back into negative money flow for the Russell here. You can see that being reflected here on the bottom bar. You can also see that being reflected with this momentum wave. Things are tapering off with money flow. RSIs both pointing back downwards. We're cutting through our long-term average of support. So it does look like we're going to come down to this new level of support that we have here. It's almost actually, let's just invalidate that. I think it's safe to say we could invalidate that. Excuse me. So maybe we come down here and it holds up long-term. Got to be patient, right? We got to be patient. Let's just see what happens. SPX, again, same thing that I was saying for the NASDAQ. Like, I really do think there's a possibility of this weird janky cup and handle pattern to print out. And again, it doesn't necessarily have to do it exactly. It can kind of do this on the way down and kind of come up, kind of like it did right here for the handle pattern, right? It could do all kinds of like janky stuff on the way down here, but still create that cup, right? Same thing here. It could create this weird movement here, but still create this handle. Things don't necessarily have to be absolutely clean to be relevant. Like, they could actually come close to rhyming and still hold up and still be intact and still play out and still be impactful long term. But SPX is up 0.12%. So long-term trend line still intact here. Higher lows being made here on the charts until the stair-stepping movement is totally invalidated and all these previous levels get cut through and invalidated as well. I'm just going to be patient, right? You have to be a profit taker to ensure that you're a winner more often than not, and that's all it's about. Again, I know sometimes I preach the same thing over and over, but that's what it takes to be in this game long term. It's practicing the same things and being repetitive with your actions over and 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 over, right? Like you got to do it. You got to be a profit taker. So if people get bored about it, like I hope you got it down. I hope you got it licked because if not, just come back here. I'll remind you, man. That's like what I'm good for. Um, so yeah, that's what I'm seeing right now. Like just kind of like reflecting. I don't think there's any need to try to anticipate or call anything. Nobody knows. I just have a strategy for if it keeps going up. I've already taken profits. I'm free and clear. So if it keeps going up, great. I'm just going to benefit, right? But if it comes back down, I'm just waiting for the 200 SMA strategy again. SPX or S&P 500. Then that's going to be down here for $3,017 for me, roughly. And I'm just waiting for that to happen. I have some zones before that I might be interested in, but depends on momentum, right? Depends on the narrative, depends on fundamentals. But I am looking for the 200 SMA strategy again. I've waited a long time in the past to hit those licks on these charts previously, and I've made my moves. I made my moves here. I'm free and clear. I've taken my profits, and so I did my job. Now, again, being a participant, a long-term investor participant in the markets, my job is to be patient and wait for the most opportune time for me that I think I should be entering back into the market. So right now, I think with everything happening, it's just the time to be patient, right? It's bear market. It's preserve your capital market. It's be conservative market. Don't be reckless. Don't try to front run things. Be realistic. Have a plan. Have averages. Have math. Have factual things that you can tangibly pull from and say, you know what? This isn't my opinion. This is the chart's opinion. This is the market's opinion. This is what they've done over 20 years. This is better than what I think or what I hope for. So I'm just going to go with it. And that's what the 200 SMA strategy does for me. So if you guys want to know more about that, if you guys are watching on YouTube, check out the channel. It's in there. It's 4x4 DCA strategy and my 200 SMA strategy. It kind of goes it goes into very much detail about both of those. It works. It works for me, right? Especially for the TradeFi market. Let's get into CPI. CPI. Do I have my CPI chart here? CPI rose, I think, 0.6% from what they were expecting, I think. Maybe I'm just losing my mind or I can't see it anymore. I don't know. Did I miss it? I think I missed it. Whatever. Oh my gosh. This isn't the ones that I like to use. There you go. This year over year for the United States. And interesting. I'm gonna, you know what? I'll do that later. I'll save you guys the boredom. I'll fix my screens and or I'll do some house cleaning and fix it for myself later. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's actually up 1.4% on today's price action. Again, oops, sorry, this is the monthly. Let's go to the daily. Super interesting, right? We're back above 26, just barely. We've come down to this chart kind of shows it really easily. Hopefully you guys can see this here, right? Like we have previous loans of past resistance and or support being charted here. You can see this really easily just holding up as previous resistance in the past and support holding up short term as support going forward. Like I can't tell you guys what to do, but it does look like we're sloping downwards. This doesn't look all too convincing. I don't know if this support holds up long term. While it is, if you've taken positions down here in the past and you want to recognize those profits from those positions, I would at least consider doing so. Right? Because it doesn't necessarily have to do exactly what it did in the past. It could definitely cut through like a hot knife in butter and say, nah, right? This isn't going to happen maybe again. Just because we've come down like we did before, it's not going to pop. It could. It absolutely could. And if it does, that's going to be amazing. That's going to be kind of crazy, but amazing. But we're going to have a hard time getting above 28 and 30,000 if it does pop up again. You got to think about like the reasons of why that might pop up. Maybe it keeps going sideways here, waiting for the SEC to make a decision about the spot Bitcoin ETF, and it goes pop and it pops back up. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. That is a narrative. That is something that could possibly happen. There's a lot of things that could possibly happen. It's just something to think about, right? That could definitely be it. Um, it could be a number of things, but the higher and more likelier probability right now from what I'm seeing, right? Oops, let me see here. Market set for B, negative money flow being represented here, red, right? We do have rounding RSIs trying its best, but that's not to say, like, if you guys zoom here, look, it happened here too, right? It happened. It happened a couple of times here. It happened here. It comes up and it comes down. It comes down, and it could look like this, right? It could absolutely do that. It has its ebbs and flows as it's selling off, as it's slowly doing that. We do have a couple of awkward unmatching signals that we have from market set for B. So RSI is pointing upwards right now, trying to round and come back up. We have a buy trigger green dot right here, but we have negative money flow, right? We have negative money flow and we have the fundamentals to think about. So, like, I don't know. Usually, CryptoPace and everybody else that uses Market Cipher would like to see all three things go green before they say, yeah, this is convincing. Right now, if you're following those rules, you only have 2 out of 3, and that's not good enough for me. So just something to think about here. Absolutely. Don't know. Like, if you just feel like this is a good place for you to DCA, I don't know. I can't give you financial advice, right? Like, if you bought Bitcoin above, like, what's the difference now? You're getting it at a better price. Excuse me again. Coffee. But yeah, that's what I got for Bitcoin right now. Daily time frame, guys. It's up right now, 1.41%. If you're on leverage, you're up even more. But that's not a bad move for today. 1.41%. I tell you what, if this was TradeFi and we saw 1.41%, it would be massively all over every, like, Bloomberg and economy, like, newscasts on Fox or business or whatever you watch, right? It would be everywhere. So it's kind of funny how, like, we just kind of brush off like 1.41 per yay. Like, don't talk to me unless you get like a double digit gain or something weird. But it's always fascinating to watch that. Let's move away from Bitcoin right now. Let's take a look before we get into crypto, because there's a couple of things. Like AMC had a huge sell-off recently, but it's up right now, 8.85%. But remember, it had a huge sell-off, so it's all relative, right, to where it was and to where it's doing right now. Excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. Drinking that coffee too fast. GME also not doing all that great, but had a little great day today. 3.37% up on today. But like, if you feel like this is such an easy thing to chart to, like, let's just be real. Oops. Excuse you me. Let's just chart this right here. Come here, little thingy. Go away. Let's just chart this right here. Bump. Look, you can just say not the wick highs, but the body candle highs here. Look how these damn things just basically almost sit on each other here. Bump, bump, bump. That's not good. That's not good, right? So don't get all crazy about GME and AMC if you guys are still hopeful about that kind of stuff. Like, I love my movie theaters. Don't get me wrong. I love my GameStop too, but man, Tesla up 1.43%. Tesla not having a bad job after finding a low here. Look at this stair-stepping move. Really simple to chart, right? Stair-step, but it's a good stair-stepping movement that we're seeing right now. It's coming up to previous points of resistance and or support in the past. You can see that here, short-term resistance. You saw that here is support, resistance, basically, right? Support. It's coming up to a more volatile time here at the price. So consider that if you're a Tesla person. If you go back and look at like previous highs before having that humongous run up during 2001, you got to like anticipate that, that it's going to be a psychological place for some people. Let's go on into new scale. I forgot to look into this. This is not a good looking chart. I forgot who asked me to look into. Was it Chad? Somebody asked me to look into it. I believe this is the company that buys power. Yeah, New Scale Power Corporation. I don't know. It's interesting though. They're having a little bit of a bounce here from the low. Let's see here. There. to there. I mean, it's up almost 11% there in a like short amount of time. I don't know though, but it's also come down to quite a bit. So I'll have to ask Chad again why he was asking me. I think it was Chad that was asking me to look into that. Gold right now having a little bit of a down day, if you want to call that a down day. It's down 0.18%. Um, man, I just gold's looking more and more as far as from my position. I do want to buy more gold. I have a problem with gold, the gold chart right now, because I don't want to buy the highs or I don't want to be somebody else's exit liquidity. It's really hard when you zoom out on the gold chart. This is the monthly. Like you're basically buying the high. You're basically exit liquidity right now for anybody else selling, whether physical gold or whatever it is, right? Like that's like my fundamental like TA rules of engagement kind of things that like I'm just having a hard time. I want more gold. I just don't want it at this price. It might go up. I've heard a lot of people in my inner circle, like big net worth individuals in my company meetings and stuff like that. Like they believe that gold is going to go to like 2,500 to 3,000, and especially in the next year or so. Like there's a really high probability of that. Could be right. And if that happens, like that's still like if you look at it from where it is at there now on the charts, and that happens, let's just say 2,500. That's still only 28% move for me. You understand that? Like that's still understand for like high net worth individuals and stuff like that. But like this is 25.55. That's only 33%, 33 and some change. I maybe I'm just spoiled from like other things, but like I don't know. I don't know if I can. If we go to 3,000, it's just give or take right around here. 3,000. That's only a 57% gain with a lot of volatility and a lot of pushback and a lot of selling the tops. You're basically buying at the all-time highs. And I just by principle, I can't, right? Like when you want to buy, again, we're looking at things on the monthly, right? These are the sections right here that you want to buy a buyer of things like this. You want to be a buyer like when it happened here in the 70s, like late 70s, right here. You want to be a buyer in the 80s, all the way down when it was trending back down here, all the way to the 2000s. That's when you wanted to be a buyer, right? You wanted to be a buyer in these downtrends here, in these downtrends from 2012 to when we bottomed out, which right around 15. But you wanted to be a buyer then, not now. Maybe I'm wrong. You buy. I don't care. You whatever. Like I want more gold. It makes me feel freaking bad. It makes me feel bad if I was to buy it on principle right now, because like think about this, dude. Dotted line is where we're at right now to all-time high averages. You're only 7.7% away from all-time highs. I just can't. Like I think there's better opportunities. I could be wrong about this too, but let's take a look at silver, right? Physical silver, paper traded derivatives of silver, whatever you want to look at. Like look at this. This looks like a humongous. If you go to the monthly, this looks like a humongous cup and handle pattern playing out right here. That's what it looks like to me. And yes, if I look at like, I recently was buying a lot more silver here, but if I look at from there to all-time highs, that's 87, 89% on average from all-time high to all-time high. That's done it in the past, right? So much more possibility of percent gains compared to gold. Also see a pattern that's recognizably bullish long-term for the silver price on the monthly time frame. Like gold here, I don't know. Maybe you want to say that this is a weird cup and handle pattern, but is it? Is it from here? I mean, maybe. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Maybe this is a weird cup and janky looking handle, but I don't see it. I don't see it. So like, I don't know. I'm just like, if I'm a gambling man, if I'm an investor, and I kind of am in a way, like I'm looking at things that look more favorable for me. I don't know if silver's the play. I do know silver has more use cases. It's harder to manufacture or refine, I should say. So I don't know. Like that's just my thoughts. I could be dead wrong. PAAS is another play that I get indirect exposure to silver and or other things. Like I like semiconductors. I like chip manufacturing and all this other stuff. And if you really believe in that, you would probably be investing in it. PAAS is one of my things that I think gives me a good opportunity. fundamentally and by the charts to do that. Not financial advice. You do you. Tell me a better one. I want to consider other options as well. But that's just what I'm seeing right now. Like you can see that it's done it highs in the past on averages. It's reached these all-time highs 3 times in the past. We are in a downtrend, which is the more ideal time for an investor to be investing into things. We have a long-term trend line that is coming down to either test here or even further here, right? So again, you want to kind of maybe consider buying or buying retest. That's just a one option. That's one strategy, right? But what I'm seeing right here is if I buy, and let's just say we even go back down to previous lows, right? I could DCA into this using my 4x4 DCA strategy. But even from where we are right now, back up to all-time highs, that's over 135%. And it's done it 3 times in the past before. Strong possibility that it happens again, right? So that's much better than gold. That's much better than straight silver. PAS gives me a better price potential percent-wise on the charts than any of the other charts that I see. But it also gives me indirect exposure to semiconductors, chip manufacturing, not to mention precious metals, right? So again, that's just my thinking. I don't know it all. That's just one of the things that I'm looking at. Um, you can see that Val had a little bit of a good day. It was up 0.74%. That's not, if you look at this chart, it's up to you how you want to consider that. Stair stepping movements still in play here. So until that structure is broken, act like you've been there. WRN. Somebody was asking me about Western. I think it was Bands. Western Copper and Gold Corporation. Like I like this too, right? Copper, nickel, gold, platinum, all this. So it's like anytime you can get into this kind of stuff, I like it. What's up, chicken tacos? What's up, dude? But structure still in play here. I personally would like to get into these lines of interest here if I'm DCing back into, but like it's still in play. Oil. You can see oil. Like man, other than this weird freaking thing right here, oil is just the play, right? Like we're on the monthly right now. Oil is just the play, dude. Like especially what's happening with the bricks. That's like, oh man, you got to think about things fundamentally out there. It's gonna be a crazy next couple of years. Chicken tacos. I hope your day is going well. And anybody else that watches this after the fact, if you're not here live, really do appreciate you guys. Consider subscribing. Consider sharing. Again, if you guys find this beneficial, just some food for thought for you to digest. Hopefully, it helps you in your trading or investing career. Let's go into the total market for crypto. It's up 1.15% right now. We are just above 1 trill, just barely, right? Hopefully, we stay that way. Total 2 is up 0.79%. This is excluding Bitcoin in the markets of crypto. Total 3, excluding Bitcoin and ETH, you can see is up 0.85%. So basically all altcoins. Look at this. Look at this chart, though. Look at this chart for total 3. Man, what a freaking chart, bro. What a damn chart. Like, look at this right here. You can just basically look at that. On average, it's about averages, right? Bam, 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 bam. We still need to overcome this trend line of resistance. FTX to liquidate assets. Yeah, FTX could liquidate assets, but you think about like, I know we were talking about this before. It probably, a lot of people are like, oh, OTC deal. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. FTX has a lot more Solana than anything else, though, right? So that's interesting for total 3. Total 2. Let's chart this out. Does it take a brain or a rocket scientist or a brain surgeon to do this? Like it's really freaking simple if you like don't overcomplicate things. Let's just say on average, right? Let's just say on average, we're threading 1, 2, 3, 4-ish. We're threading, flirting with breaking below the total 2 right now. We're above it right now for the trend line. But if we break down below, that's not a good structure. Again, total 2, excluding Bitcoin. And then total, that's everything, right? Everything right now. Let's take a look at this right now. Ooh, excuse me. You can even do this if you wanted to. You could play it however you want to play it. However you want to make it rhyme and make reason for you. Like, right? Maybe you got 1, 2 touches there, and it's more justifiable to you, or you want to take a more long-term macro here, and you want to just go from the absolute top to this recent wick up high. We're still underneath that trend line, right? Something to think about. Um, if we can go sideways though, the one thing I will say is for total, if we can just go sideways, then eventually get close to the having it break through it, and then boom, use it as a springboard to keep carrying on, start a new bull cycle. That would be like cool. Total 2, same thing. If we could like keep here, right? If we could just keep here, necessarily not like do anything crazy, but if we can just keep here and go kind of sideways of sorts, that'd be good. Total 3. Again, same thing. It has to get above this downwards trend line of resistance, but maybe we do that and break sideways here, and then we carry on into the new bull, into the new halving, into the new appreciation phase or bull market, if you want to call it that. Solana, little bit up right now, 2.57%. Take that with a grain of salt, but right now from the lows, you're still. Oops, excuse me. We're on the daily time frame. From the lows, you're still seeing an average of stair-stepping movements happening until this previous price action, which is right around $14, breaks, and that trend breaks. Like, don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it. If we find support here and we bust up, that's just going to be a level for us to say, oh yeah, we're stair-stepping our way up. FTX has a lot of Solana to liquidate, so be mindful of that. Crow up 0.16%. Crow's not a really good looking chart, to be very honest with you. You used to chart this quite a bit. Take a look at that right there. Boom. We're above the resistance on the daily time frame in the past. We still got to stay above it and hold above it concretely and firmly. Let's go to dot up 0.76%. But take a look at the daily time frame, right? Like we charted out these levels for dot in the past as well. I'm not interested. Even right now, though, I said that, and this is my caveat, I'm not interested with that and some of these other things just because I have points of interest on the charts until some things change fundamentally, or if the narrative is changing fundamentally and socially and in the chains. Right now, I think that's going through a rebrand. So a lot of uncertainty with that. It's going through a value capture like identification crisis, kind of like Cosmos Hub and a lot of other chains, like trying to figure out like what their real value is, why people should be investing into it, all this other thing. And I don't know how I feel about the leadership for the chain in general, right? Like I know there's a lot of people like our friend Funky and some other groups that are trying their best, but like we need like concrete leadership, right? And if you're looking at Polkadot right now, just if you want to take a look at it in this light here from highs on average lows, like we're still underneath that trend line. A lot of these trends are going to look the same. Just because I pointed out 423, 361, 275, not quite still interested. We could come all the way down to here and it still not catch any kind of support, right? Ethereum back above just barely $16,000 or $1,600, excuse me. We have this trend line of interest right here. It's polka dotted line, which is basically 1607. We're at it right now. Man, it was deflationary until it wasn't, right? Until everybody said, oh, I just want to use the network anymore. I don't care about, you get be real about it. Like a lot of the usage was, yes, DeFi, a lot of it was NFTs as well. With OpenSea having issues, a lot of these NFTs having issues, and DeFi having issues in general. Like less and less people using it, less and less demand means that the demand's not keeping the ideal scenario of it being a deflationary token in check. And so it was deflationary. I think right now I don't think it is on the daily or 7-day time frame. Matter of fact, can we go to Feel the Burn? Hold on. Or Feel the Burn. Watch. I'm such a lifter. Watch the burn. Let's see if we can see this. Is this something? What is it? Oh, ultrasound money. Yeah, it's ultrasound. Excuse me. Ultrasound money, my friends. Hold on. Let's take a look at this. See, we're on the 7-day right here. You can see the ETH supply no longer deflationary. This line right here is a line in the sand into where it shows you if it's deflationary or not. Right now, the supply chain, is showing you that we have 3,820 new ETH being created, more than the demand is out there right now for ETH. And so not good. Better than being proof of work, right? Proof of work would have been seeing 82,000. 82,000. So way better, way better. So yeah, I didn't even see Joe. I'm sorry. What's up, everyone? Just tuning in. This time for this time frame looks very bad for ETH. Yeah, it does. Um, we go down more before we go up. Not much more. Not much more down. I agree. Yeah. So yeah, but that's kind of what I was going to, right, Joe? Like this don't look good. But if you go to like even the 30-day or the 363-day, which is such a weird, you can see that it's still overall, if you're looking at it over the year, deflationary. It's so hard to pull out that far back, right, and say that's a justifiably an argument that you should be focusing on. I think the 30 days is a good measurement. To keep it. I think the daily obviously is something that we need to like. This is the daily. Right now we're putting in 263 more ETH on the day than is that is in demand. The 7-day not doing us any favors. I think the 1 day, the 7-day, and the 30-day are the more realistic timeframes that you could like look at and get a good snapshot of like what's happening for the network. But yeah, I need to make Tank a Fox NFT Nashville sign. Do it. Send it to me. I need it. By the way, guys, we got journals in today. Joe, should I be sharing that? I don't know. I just thought maybe that was some alpha. Maybe I shouldn't have shared. Got some more merch in today. Spork chain coming along. One chain to move on. I love a Spork. A Spork is the ultimate utility, right? It's the ultimate, man. Spork's got to live up to the name, though. I would have so much uh going like stick a Spork in it. Can we just Spork it? I love it. Joe, do you like the background? Man, I love the background. Guys, I got this. If you guys want to take pictures in front of a background like this, live with your buddies, with your friends, with your people that you it'll be a possible thing. It'll be a possible thing that has been on order. Yeah, so that's ETH. That's ETH. Let me go back into the charts and let me get into it. Today is all about charting. Crazy stuff happening in the Cosmos, but we'll get that in just a second. The Cosmos Atom chart right now on the daily time frame up 2.63%. It's trading at $6.54 today. Right now, again, though, all in all, even though I am pretty biased, I'm not gonna lie. I love the Cosmos ecosystem. I love me, some Cosmos Hub. The Atom token, a little different, right? And my commitment is to the IBC gang, to the participants within the Cosmos ecosystem, always first and foremost. And I got to be real with you. If you're looking at it on the daily time frame, like we have to re-establish ourselves and accomplish getting over this trend line of resistance. We're underneath the 50 and the 200 SMA and EMA for that fact. So like we need to reestablish ourselves over that. We're going to run into a lot of resistance, even if we do see things turn around. Like where we have a lot of bullish things happening right now in the Cosmos ecosystem. We got native USDC. That's massive. That's cool, right? We have snaps with MetaMask. And I will say, I want to point this out for our friend Tim. He like reminding me about this, right? Like just a couple of months ago, everybody's like, oh, MetaMask bad for XYB reasons, right? And they're like, yeah, it's not the best experience and stuff like that. And it's not, we've seen a lot of things happen with MetaMask. And now, just because it's snaps and it allows us access within Cosmos, then don't get me wrong, I like it. Everybody's like, yes, MetaMask. Kind of funny how like things change at a whim just because it fits your. I'm just saying, like I love it. I love that Snaps is like that's a door, that's an avenue, that's a path for the Cosmos Hub, for the Atom liquidity to come and go. Hopefully more come than go within the Cosmos ecosystem. It's good, right? Like we need that. But I just thought he made a great point. I thought it was so funny how people switch with the wind, depending on where they're sitting on the boat. I don't know if that analogy made sense, but you guys got what I'm saying. So right now, Atom up 2.52%. It's trading at 654. Again, we are coming down. Remember when I told you guys points of interest? 750, 615, 460, 80 cents. Everybody laughed at Tank. You don't know what you're talking about. Oh, it looks like I knew kind of what I was talking about, right? Because it's coming down to that second point. And I even told you guys caveats to this as well. Like just because I put it up there as points of interest, I wasn't going to be getting into it unless some fundamental things were happening and some narratives were changing and some value captures and agreements and things were happening, right? for the Atom token, because all those things matter. And so, like, I'm still just sitting by watching. I'm still just sitting by watching. We could absolutely come down to 460, and we could absolutely come down to 80 cents. I'm not trying to FUD the Cosmos Hub, but you're right. Like, hey, let's be real. Let's be real. Just 3 years ago, in 2020, in March, right? That's when the coronavirus happened. We dumped, and we dumped really quickly to about $1.06, $1.07 on this chart. It's like $1.07 on Coinbase. You know, if price action has gone there in the past, it could go there and then some in the future. What the frick makes you think that it can't happen that way? If it's touched the net before and if it's touched the ground, guess what, my friends? It can happen again. There's nothing to stop that from happening. Realistic, there's no superhero that's going to stop it. So when I say 80 cents, that's me hedging against momentum and working it. Like, you never know how far momentum's going to take you. People are crazy. Like when I said 80 cents, everybody and their mama said, by that time, buddy, it's done. Was everybody saying the same thing here? Because if you took positions here when everybody else is saying, buddy, it's done, you didn't make as much money as those people that saw it go all the way up 4,076%, right? So let's be real about it, right? Will I buy at that level? Depending. Maybe it's just a reinforcement of my position so that I'm waiting for that bounce to get out of my position using a dynamic 4x4 DCA strategy, right? Maybe some things have fundamentally changed to where I'm like, oh, yeah, this is actually viable. Like, just long term, I want to hold this. I don't know. Could be. There could be also all kinds of reasons why you want to go 80 cents here, right? It could just be an exit position for you. You need to buy in to reinforce your position, ladder in, lower your DCA zone. So where if it does bounce, because everything has its bounces, right? Everything has its bounces. Things don't move in just a straight line indefinitely forever. Maybe it does have a bounce and it comes back up, but you lowered your DCA down to this zone here by going to 80 cents. And now you can exit in profits because you are using a dynamic DCA strategy like the 4x4 DCA strategy. If you guys don't know about it, do yourself a favor, watch the channel, subscribe, go look up 4x4 DCA strategy in my channel on YouTube. It'll do you some favors, not financial advice, just some practices that's really done me favors over a long period of time. Like, right? But again, I love these people. They're just so absolute. They're so, I know it all. I don't know it all. And that's why I practice what I preach. Taking profits, 200 SMA strategy, 4x4 DCA strategy, be conservative, right? Be wary of the people that actually try to preach to you that they know it all, whether they're grant companies, whether they're hub developers, whether they're whatever they are. Be wary of those people that say you don't know shit and I know it all. Because they don't. They don't. They absolutely do not. Nobody does. Anyway. Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on from so what were we talking about? Let's Atom. So yeah, we got those fundamental things, right? USDC, snaps. We got what was that other chain that just is they're connecting consumer. Someone throw it at me. So look, I'm such a bad. I get so caught up in my other thinking that I can't remember it. What? Tell me, throw it at me. What was the other chains that just? They had a, you know what? You guys want to do it? I'll just do it myself. There was a governance proposal. Let's go to Cosmos Hub. Bada bing, bada boom. We'll go to proposals here. Oh, no, it's not. It's on the, I can't even do that because it's actually on, not the Commonwealth, but on the Cosmos Hub forums, because that's where you have to go to put up signaling proposals. What was it, guys? Nobody knows? Okay, let's just move on because I feel crazy. If you guys remember, let me know in the chat. I wasn't prepared. We're just charting today. Secret right now is still down 0.21%. Remember when I was telling y'all? What's the secret? Remember when I was telling y'all? Like, I just don't get it. I don't think people, and I'm not trying to FUD secret, right? Like, I'm IBC gang, but that means I'm committed to you guys more than anything, right? Like, this is us. Interoperability, but this is us. I'm not trying to FUD nothing. So please take offense to this. I'm just being real. It's my opinions. You got to come and convince me. And I've been asking people for a long time to please come convince me. I don't think people care about privacy enough for it to be a marketable thing, right? I hope so, Ambito. I hope so because they need it. Secret needs leadership. Secret needs to stop being so much of a secret and tell me why anybody would want to reinvest into this. Look, again, remember I was telling you price action could go there in If it's been there in the past, it could go there again. I've been eyeballing 19 and 6 cents realistically. That's averages of support in the past, but wick lows as well, right? You don't think that can happen? You guys don't even know what the foundation. You guys don't. Nobody knows. That's the point of secret, right? Nobody knows. But here's the thing: I just don't see people caring about their privacy enough for the secret token. I could see Shade. I could see Silk. I could see a lot of other things that are happening in the secret network. The secret token, though, I don't have to hold an absorbent amount to do what I need to do on Shade, Silk, or what's on there, right? I just need a little bit enough to pay for gas. And that could even change. So, like, what's the point of me buying a whole bunch of secret? Shade as a consumer chain on Atom. How are you talking about? Lots of profit potential on that chart. Also, a lot of sad. That's right. A lot of sad. Yeah, that's right. You're right. You're very much right. But you guys get what I'm saying, right? With the shade, I'm not saying the secret token. Even if I like, let's just say, even if I like all of those other things in secret, the secret network, why do I have to have an absorbent amount of secret? I only need to do a couple of transactions, right? Even if I'm buying NFTs, I only need so much secret. What's the demand? That's what I want to know. Juno, let's talking about stuff like that. Let's go into Juno right now. And I promise, yo, Shade, a secret. I mean, not Shade, secret. I'm not trying to fudge you guys. I'm like real. I'm being real. I want people to come make this a business decision for me. Like, why? If your job is to attract investors, people so on Osmosis, right? Amazing. This is kind of crazy. This is kind of crazy. Actually, matter of fact, let's actually bring up Osmosis real quick. I'm probably going to be on the IBC Gang sponsor wallet, so don't get all crazy. You're not seeing anything that you're not going to be able to see anyway. Second, take a look at this. Um, Osmosis info. Share the screenies. Look at the Juno, 17.97%. Look at that. This is the 1 hour. This is the 1 hour chart right here. Boom here from the lows. Get the fuck out of here thing. Why are you doing that? Get out of here. Why do you do this to me? Go away. Where's the volume? Go away. I hate. Get away. How do I take the volume thing away? Get the fuck out of here. Indicators. Just why is the volume like that? I don't understand. Anyway, this is the most annoying thing. I want to go from the absolute bottom here, but you're not letting me. Anyway, to the top here. That's oh my god. Can we not fix that? 26% from the 12th from yesterday from 26%. That's it. That's crazy. That's crazy. But like, be mindful, my friends. Like, I'm a Juno working group. Balanced style. Like, you guys get it. You guys get it. People coming at me like I've been trying for a long time, like to help Juno. Right? The market cap's only 12 mil. The market cap's only 12 mil. The volume has only been 156 over the past 24 hours. 156,000. I say only, but still remember that, right? The liquidity on Osmosis is only 511,000. So it takes like a couple strong buys. Is this true? Like, what I would ask you, and don't get me wrong, please don't get me wrong either. Look, all you guys, I'm not. This is IBC and this is me first and foremost. I make content for the people, right? My commitments to the people. I don't want to give just constructive food for thought or like even maybe sometimes whatever you want to call it, maybe destructive. I don't know, but I gotta ask, like, does it really take that much to pump that? Is it really a reflection of true floor or what is this? You got to ask yourself that. And you got to keep in mind those fundamental things. Liquidity, 511,000, just over half a mil. It's not a lot, right? On Osmosis. Osmosis, the most readily, especially for the Cosmos. Like you're not. I don't think this happened on BitGet or centralized exchanges like Kraken and stuff like that. I don't think, unless somebody proved me wrong. I didn't look into it, but probably happened on Osmosis, or within the Cosmos ecosystem somewhere, right? The volume is only 156,000, just shy of 157,000. The market cap is only 12 mil. Is this really reflective of like now is the time? Maybe if the liquidity was like, half a mil, just over half a mil, and we saw the volume coming into like 400,000, like really close to that, 400,000 or something like that, something that would offset that a bit. Like maybe that would be it, right? Like maybe that would be it. It'd drive the market cap a cool mil or something like that, right? Like maybe. Or maybe more ideally, it matches the liquidity there, because that means something's really fundamentally happening. But this just could be, what if it's a core member? What if it's a higher validator? Maybe it's somebody like, I don't know. I don't know what the play is. Why the buy? Maybe was this a swap? It's a little too late now. Maybe we can look at it. You could go. You guys ever do this? You guys ever go and just like, I used to do this when the height of the run up in the bull market and stuff like that. I used to be on Osmosis and just like try to catch some weird stuff on the phone, or like be on MintScan and like look at the transactions as they're happening. And if you're like just lucky enough to be staring at the screen, you'd see something off and you'd be like, oh, click on it, see what happened. Whose wallet is this? And stuff like that, like some crazy shit. But are you guys weird like me? Like I like sometimes like scrolling down here and just like cycling through this. Like, what was this? Was this a swap? Was this a swap? Well, we could actually maybe go back, right? 9/13. This is still today. Juno Osmo with Juno. It's only going to show us 10 pages, so I don't think we're going to get there. But like ST Evmos, token out Juno, token in ST Evmos. Find out whose wallet that was. That's $410. Nothing major, right? That's 410 value. I'm looking for, oh, here we go. Juno, ST Juno. This person, 4,000. So I'm looking for the value. 7,000 here. This is something to look at, right? 50,000 Juno, token out, ST Juno. So for that swap and that pool, like maybe do some sleuthing. Ambito's great at this too. You can dig it up using Dex Screener. Yeah, I have Dex Screener. I need to be more, what I do with it? I had it up. Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, I use, so that's a good thing too, right? Let me show you guys Dex Screener, right? I love Dex Screener. I've been looking at this for the Passage token. Don't get at me either, Passage. I was just trying to make a point, right? This is the Passage token. You can look at this too. Like this is what he's talking about. Dex Screener right here. And you can see that I love doing this kind of stuff. I know Ambito, like Rama probably just gets kicks out of doing this kind of stuff. I love doing this kind of stuff. I just noticed the time, but I got to go, guys. I really got to go. Love you guys to death. I'll see you guys later. Oh my gosh, I had so much time, but I got to get going. Don't forget to subscribe. Check you guys out later. Peace.